How often do you make important decisions in your life?
I'd say I make important decisions fairly regularly, perhaps a few times a month. These aren't necessarily life-altering choices, but rather significant ones concerning my work, personal projects, or financial planning. I find that being proactive in making these decisions helps keep me on track with my goals.
Do you usually make decisions quickly or slowly?
Generally, I tend to make decisions quite slowly, especially if they involve significant consequences. I prefer to take my time, weigh all the options, and consider potential outcomes. While it might seem less efficient to some, I believe this careful approach helps me avoid regrets and leads to more informed choices in the long run.
Have you ever regretted a decision you made?
Absolutely. Like most people, I've certainly regretted some decisions in the past. There was one time I rushed into a commitment without fully researching it, and it turned out to be a poor fit. However, I try to view these experiences as valuable learning opportunities, helping me to make better choices in the future rather than dwelling on the past.
Who helps you when you need to make an important decision?
When faced with an important decision, I often turn to my family, particularly my elder sister. She has a very practical outlook and offers sound advice, helping me to see different perspectives I might have overlooked. Sometimes, simply discussing the issue aloud with her helps me clarify my own thoughts.
Do you think it's important to get advice from others before making a decision?
Yes, I believe it's very important to seek advice before making significant decisions. While the final choice is always yours, gaining insights from others who might have more experience or a different viewpoint can provide a much broader understanding of the situation. It helps in identifying potential pitfalls and making a more well-rounded choice. I recall a particularly interesting decision my friend and I made together a few years ago, shortly after we both graduated from university. We were feeling a bit restless in our hometown, sensing a strong desire for new experiences and broader professional opportunities that weren't readily available where we lived. Consequently, we started discussing the possibility of a significant change. The decision we ultimately made was to move to a completely new city, specifically Bangalore, which is a bustling metropolitan hub known for its IT industry and diverse culture. This wasn't just a short trip, it was a commitment to relocate, find jobs, and establish a new life far from our familiar surroundings. We had spent countless hours researching different cities, considering factors like job markets, cost of living, and general lifestyle, before settling on Bangalore as our joint adventure. We decided to embark on this journey together for several compelling reasons. Firstly, the sheer scale of such a move felt less daunting with a trusted companion. Financially, it made perfect sense to share the burden of initial expenses, like rent and utilities, which significantly eased the transition. More importantly, we offered each other immense emotional support. Facing the challenges of a new city, finding employment, and building a social circle can be overwhelming, and having a familiar face and a shared purpose provides immense comfort and motivation. Our individual strengths also complemented each other. I was more meticulous with planning, while my friend was excellent at networking, making us an effective team. What made this decision particularly interesting was the sheer leap of faith it represented. We were stepping entirely out of our comfort zones, leaving behind family and established routines for the unknown. The process itself was full of unexpected twists and turns, from navigating crowded public transport to adapting to a new work culture. We encountered numerous small challenges daily, which forced us to be incredibly resourceful and resilient. Ultimately, it wasn't just a geographical move. It was a profound period of personal growth and self-discovery, made all the more memorable and manageable because we experienced every step of it side by side, learning and growing together.
Do you think it's better for individuals to make their own decisions, or should they always consult others?
I believe the optimal approach to decision-making often lies in a balance between personal autonomy and seeking external input, rather than an absolute rule. For minor, everyday choices, individual decision-making is undoubtedly more efficient and fosters a sense of independence and self-reliance. However, when faced with significant life choices, consulting others can provide invaluable perspectives and uncover potential blind spots that one might miss. For instance, close friends or family members who understand your values can offer emotional support and practical advice, while experts can provide specialized knowledge. Ultimately, the best strategy depends heavily on the nature and complexity of the decision, alongside the individual's confidence and existing knowledge base, making a blanket rule impractical. While the final responsibility typically rests with the individual, collaborative thought processes can significantly enhance the quality and confidence in the eventual choice.
How has technology changed the way people make decisions today compared to the past?
Technology has profoundly transformed decision-making by altering access to information and analytical tools. In the past, decisions were largely based on limited personal experience, direct consultation, and perhaps printed resources. Today, the internet provides an unprecedented volume of data instantly, allowing individuals to research virtually any topic, compare options, and read reviews before committing. Furthermore, sophisticated algorithms and AI-driven platforms can process vast datasets to identify patterns and predict outcomes, aiding complex business and scientific decisions. This accessibility certainly empowers individuals with more informed choices, but it also presents challenges like information overload and the risk of confirmation bias, where people only seek information that supports their pre-existing views. Overall, technology offers powerful new aids, making decision-making more data-driven and potentially more accurate, but it necessitates greater critical thinking skills to navigate the sheer volume of available data responsibly.
In what situations do people tend to rely more on their instincts than on logical reasoning when making decisions?
People often lean on their instincts or intuition in situations where logical reasoning is either impractical, time-consuming, or insufficient. High-pressure scenarios, such as emergency medical responses or split-second athletic plays, demand immediate action where there isn't leisure for detailed analysis. Here, trained intuition derived from extensive experience becomes paramount. Similarly, in highly ambiguous situations lacking clear data, or when facing complex social interactions, individuals might rely on a gut feeling developed from subconscious processing of past experiences. Furthermore, creative fields often involve intuitive leaps that defy pure logic, driving innovation. While logical reasoning is vital for structured problems, instinct frequently serves as a rapid, experience-informed heuristic, particularly valuable when full information is unavailable or when speed is of the essence. It represents a synthesis of past learning that bypasses explicit analytical steps.
How does culture influence the decision-making processes within a society?
Culture plays a pervasive and fundamental role in shaping decision-making processes within any society, often influencing preferences, priorities, and acceptable methods. In collectivist cultures, decisions are frequently made with the family or community's welfare as the primary consideration, emphasizing consensus and harmony over individual desires. This often involves extensive consultation and group deliberation to ensure broad acceptance. Conversely, individualistic cultures tend to prioritize personal autonomy and self-reliance, with individuals typically making choices based on their own goals and preferences. Furthermore, cultural norms dictate appropriate levels of risk-taking, the importance of tradition versus innovation, and even the perception of time, whether decisions should be made quickly or slowly. For instance, some cultures value long-term planning and patience, while others encourage swift action. These deep-seated cultural frameworks unconsciously guide individuals in interpreting information, evaluating alternatives, and ultimately reaching conclusions that align with societal expectations.
Do you think having a lot of experience makes it easier or harder to make decisions?
Having a lot of experience can simultaneously make decision-making both easier and harder, depending on the specific context and the individual's approach. On one hand, extensive experience often provides a wealth of past successes and failures to draw upon, enabling individuals to recognize patterns, anticipate outcomes more accurately, and avoid previous mistakes. This can lead to quicker, more confident decisions in familiar situations, almost instinctively. Seasoned professionals often exhibit this expert intuition, where they can perceive solutions without conscious deliberation. However, excessive experience can also introduce cognitive biases, such as overconfidence or a rigid adherence to past methods, making it harder to adapt to novel situations or embrace innovative solutions. It might also lead to overthinking, as one might dwell on every possible past scenario. Ultimately, effective decision-making for experienced individuals lies in balancing their accumulated wisdom with an openness to new information and a willingness to challenge their own assumptions.